What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Volts Comics and More. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be going over the Deadpool 2 movie. So, in all honesty, if you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely recommend going to go see it. This was the free figure that we got for seeing the special double feature. Not really that big, as you can tell if it's in the palm of my hand, so it's not like legend figure size or anything like that, but it's really cool and goes very nicely with the ticket stub. So, yeah, we got that. As I said before, beware of spoilers that are going to be coming up here in just a second. First spoiler is basically about the mystery villain. Fox had said that there was going to be a mystery villain in Deadpool 2. A lot of people had different speculations and stuff. But the one that pretty much beat all speculations, which was pretty much the most popular one, which is why Deadpool is like foreshadowing here, and that sucked. There we go. Enter Juggernaut. Juggernaut was the big baddie, or the secret baddie of the movie, and he actually ends up making his appearance kind of later on in the film. You kind of get a sense that he's around. There's different parts in the movie where he's there, but they don't show him. This is the best way to explain that. So Juggernaut did a really good job. He even mentions about his brother being in a wheelchair, which is actually Professor Charles Xavier. In the comics, they are brothers. Professor X and the Juggernaut are actually brothers in the comics. So that was a really, really awesome nod to the comics. And speaking of nod to the comics, Shatterstar, who is part of the X-Force, he comes from a world called Mojo World. And in Mojo World, it's basically an entire universe run by Mojo. And he bases his way of living, currency, everything like that is actually based off of ratings. It's actually a really, really odd off-world type deal. But yeah, basically he gets his well, like I said, it's currency, everything based off of ratings, and he does like different shows on Mojo World, and more recently in the comics, he actually came into our world and was starting to broadcast signals, and got all the X-Men involved in this, and ended up, basically, the X-Men ended up winning, of course, and he was kind of like in Infinity War, where you have the snap and everybody kind of just disappears. Well, as soon as Mojo was defeated, he disappeared, kind of in the same way, except it was a little more pixelated, a little more digitally than just turning into dust. But basically, Mojo ended up disappearing into our world, and yeah, so that's a whole nother story. But still, part of the X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue crossover, starting with Legacy. But that's basically who Mojo is, though. Is someone who gets his ratings for different, for making different TV shows, making different scenarios and stuff like that. But they didn't actually show Mojo. They didn't show the Mojo verse and Mojo World, anything. They didn't show anything of that. Shatterstar just said that he's from Mojo World, and that just kind of like blew everyone's mind in theater because they're like, "Oh, that's so cool! They actually, they actually referenced it, and it just opens up a whole new storyline for the X-Men universe, and it's just really exciting." So another thing was, and this is also another big spoiler, everyone in the X-Force, I don't even want to say it. They died. To me, if you guys seen the movie, let me know in the comments below what you guys saw of that. To me, it was just kind of a huge surprise. Like, what? Why did they just kill off all these great characters? And Terry Crews even said that they shot all these like really cool action shoots and stuff, and that was just to kind of tease people, like to get them more involved with the movie. But in all actuality, they just killed them all off in the most gruesome ways possible. But it was, I don't know. I mean, they had a really good cast there. They had a really good lineup, and they just killed them all. I don't know. But if you guys stayed to the end of the credits, you saw that Peter, he ends up living because Deadpool ends up fixing Cable's time machine and ends up going back in time to save Peter. So it is possible that he could have saved the rest of the X-Force, although I don't know. I think it's still kind of crazy. But at the start of the movie, you see, another spoiler, at the start of the movie, you see Deadpool's girlfriend. She ends up dying, getting killed. And then that's pretty much what sets him on this path. And then he meets up with Cable, because in the future, the main, he turns into a bad guy. But he's not really a bad guy during the whole film. They're trying to prevent him from going down that path, kind of. This kid was basically abused in like a mutant concentration camp type deal. And he in the future, he ends up killing the guy who had tortured him and everything, and that kind of gave him a taste for blood. So he just doesn't stop, is pretty much the gist of that. And so, since he doesn't stop, he ends up killing Cable's family in the future. So Cable comes back to kill him as a kid before this whole, before his first kill ever even sinks in. But what ends up happening is that Deadpool plays the hero part in all this, and he ends up playing the hero, and he gets to the kid first and tries to calm him down. Deadpool does end up technically dying because he has a collar around his neck, and it basically takes away his power, his healing factor. So the cancer that just doesn't stop growing, and the gunshot wound to him. I mean, he dies. But Cable goes back in time, fixes that. He uses his last time jump to fix that because he realizes that his family, Cable's family, is now saved. So he goes back to save Deadpool, and that was his last time jump. So Cable's kind of sticking around in our time zone for a little while, since he knows that his family is safe, his daughter is alive, and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of fixes itself. And then Deadpool goes back in time. Like I said, he goes back in time. He ends up fixing Cable's time machine, so they can actually go back in time now. It's not broken anymore. But he takes it to Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and she helps fix it. But anyway, So he goes back, saves Peter. He also saves Vanessa, his girlfriend, and he also rewrites a few things. He shoots Ryan Reynolds in the back of the head. Fourth wall break. Yeah, he does that actually right before Ryan Reynolds is about ready to sign over for the Green Lantern movie. So, technically saying that Green Lantern movie never happened, I guess. So, that was what that whole big Twitter thing was with Warner Brothers and Ryan Reynolds saying, hey, we want our ring back. And he's like, so. Anyway. Let's see. Oh, he also fixed that first Deadpool. That horrible, horrible first Deadpool. We all know what Deadpool I'm talking about. X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, he goes back to fix that, kills that Deadpool. Wolverine is just standing there. And I don't think Hugh Jackman was actually, well, I mean, yeah, he was there at the time of X-Men Origins Wolverine. I don't think he was there at the time of the movie. I think they just kind of used footage from X-Men Origins to, then they just spliced it in there. So, because otherwise, I mean, it would have been cool to see, like, the Deadpool now versus the Wolverine back then. To kind of just redo that whole fight. But that didn't happen. Deadpool just kind of waved, walked off. So, that's how that ended. But, but yeah, that's pretty much Deadpool for you. Deadpool goes throughout the entire movie, trying to protect his kid, trying to figure out what Cable wants, ends up teaming up with Cable towards the end. Josh Brolin did a excellent job on Cable, and Deadpool even makes like a bunch of jokes towards that. Like he flat out calls him Thanos at one point in time, and which Josh Brolin also plays Thanos in the Avengers, so that was kind of funny. He called Domino Black Widow. That's kind of funny. He said something about how without his powers, he's basically as useless as Hawkeye, or he's basically like Hawkeye, bow and arrow. I don't remember word for word what he said about that, but he made a reference to Hawkeye. He also, trying to think, he makes a bunch of references to the MCU. Well, he makes a reference to the DC universe as well. Other than the whole Green Lantern thing, he tells Cable, which we've seen in the trailers before, but he tells Cable, "So dark, you sure you're not from the DC universe?" And so it's just kind of funny how like no one else around him kind of gets like what he's saying. He's the only one who actually understands, because he has that power to break that fourth wall and everything. So he kind of has free roam to be able to make those kind of jokes, to kind of step out of that boundary, and everyone around him just pretty much ignoring him. So it's I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. It's definitely a good movie. I honestly liked it a lot better than the first one. You got like a whole lot of more scenes where the X-Men. Oh, the one question that was from the original Deadpool movie was actually finally answered when Colossus is trying to drag him in right before he cuts off his hand. Colossus is trying to drag him in and says, we'll take you to the professor. And Deadpool asks him, McAvoy or Stewart, because we don't know what time area this is. And he also makes a reference to Wolverine having died on him and stuff like that, which was from the newest Wolverine movie, based off the Old Man Logan storyline, or loosely based off the Old Man Logan storyline, I should say. But the other thing is that we finally get the question answered, which is it McAvoy or Stewart, and it turns out to be McAvoy. He's in Deadpool is in the X-Mansion saying something about like, oh, okay, so budget was cheap again, and we just couldn't add in those extra X-Men, and then you see all the original X-Men in one room, and Deadpool just kind of goes by that room, and they just slowly close the door. So it's kind of like, yes, they're there. They know very much. They know very, very much about Deadpool, and they don't want anything to do with him, type deal. So yeah, they're there, and it's the McAvoy universe with the younger ones. So kind of questions the whole. I mean, you say the reason why he knows about Wolverine dying is because he can break the fourth wall, so he knows about everything that's going on outside of his own universe, outside of everything that's going on right then and there. Because obviously the younger X-Men, McAvoy has nothing to do with Old Man Logan, because that was Patrick Stewart in there. So it's kind of a little time jumpy juggling sort of thing. But like I said, you can kind of just explain it as in Deadpool can break the fourth wall and can already know, so he knows, like, okay, well, they did this movie, so obviously, Logan or Hugh Jackman isn't going to come back for me, so screw it. So, I think that's kind of how you get away with that little continuity. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all the most of the big stuff that pretty much happened in Deadpool. So I guess that's it. I'm trying to think about it. I didn't really write anything down. Usually I try to write something down to just kind of like make little notes, list things to go over. I didn't really do that this time. Sorry. So I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. But I think that was pretty much a big thing. The X-Force does kind of get pretty well formed. Super awesome fight scene between Colossus and Juggernaut. They clash, they fight. Juggernaut is seen walking away from the fight. Afterwards, though, after they think he's defeated, he is seen walking away in the background. So, just to kind of give you guys a heads up there, Juggernaut is still out there. I will say this, just because when I first saw Juggernaut, or well, not when I first saw Juggernaut, but when I first saw his power, because they show him using his power before they actually show who's causing this earthquake. Like, what happens is that they're on a bridge, they're driving on a bridge, or an overpass, and yeah, not really a bridge, but an overpass, and it starts collapsing down like an avalanche. So I honestly thought it was the mutant Avalanche was going to be the big bad guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then out pops a Juggernaut, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that makes sense too. Which, I mean, Juggernaut would be able to cause an avalanche like that. That's really not an issue. That's really not outside of his power. It just looked like from the point that they were going, like, they didn't make, it would have been one thing, okay, you'd see, like, the ground shaking, and you can tell something heavy is running towards them, and you see this big chrome dome. Okay, you can tell that's obviously Juggernaut. But the first thing that they show is a freaking avalanche from going to an overpass. So that's why I kind of thought that it was kind of meant to look like an avalanche to introduce the villain Avalanche, but it was actually Juggernaut, which still turned out really, really awesome. I'm not complaining. So, but anyway, let me know in the comments below if you guys have seen Deadpool 2, what you guys thought about it, what you guys look forward to and the next Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds kind of made a little joke about how they were just going to skip Deadpool 3 and go right into Deadpool 4, which I highly doubt that, but there has been some going back and forth about whether or not there will be a Deadpool 3 or if Deadpool's just going to be in the X-Force movies. We don't know. So anyway, if I left anything out, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your guys' favorite part of the movie was, and let me know what you guys look forward to most for the next X-Force movie. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, tonight or tomorrow I'm going to be uploading my first Pokemon video. I think it's going to turn out good. I've actually, I just downloaded it, and I kind of recorded downloading it. I'm not going to upload that record, but it honestly didn't turn out too bad, so I'm hoping that it's going to be good. And I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it and everything, so stay tuned for that. That'll be my next video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that bell to get notified when I put out a new video. Thank you guys so much again, and I will talk to you guys, or see you guys next time. Bye.